Many users often ask me which affordable model to buy to get started in drone videography. Until a few months ago, the Mini 4K was significantly cheaper compared to other DJI models. But recently things have changed with the arrival of the DJI Flip, an excellent model for videography offered at a competitive price. In this video I will analyze the two models in terms of video quality and functionalities to help you make an informed decision. The price of the basic version of the Mini 4K is currently around €300 compared to €450 for the Flip. DJI also offers a considerably cheaper model, the Neo, but it should not be considered an alternative for videography as it is designed for different purposes, mainly cross-range vlogging and an introduction to FPV flying. You will find the updated prices in the different countries in the description below. It is an affiliate link, so I make a small commission in case of purchase, which helps the channel. The Mini 4K is a rebranded version of the Mini 2, which was released at the end of 2020, almost 5 years ago, a geological era in terms of drone technology. At the time, maintaining the weight below the crucial threshold of 250 grams was a major challenge. Every gram has to be shaved, so the Mini 4K only offers the most basic functionalities. The only intelligent feature for video is quick shots, a series of automated, predefined moves: drone, rocket, circle, helix and boomerang. Like most DJI models designed more than a couple of years ago, the camera has an annoying jump when the aircraft comes to a halt after a move. The redesign of the gimbal in the Mini 3 Pro and following lightweight models like the Flip has solved this issue. The announced battery life to the Mini 4K is 31 minutes, practically the same as the Flip. The transmission system is OcuSync 2.0 for a reliable signal even in urban areas with interference, versus the updated and slightly more performant OcuSync 4 for the Flip. The cheaper model doesn't offer obstacle sensors, a crucial safety feature. On the other hand, the Flip offers an array of video functionalities for flawless cinematic moves and tracking moving targets, like master shots, cruise control, spotlight, point of interest and active track. For many users, these intelligent features justify the higher price, as they enable a variety of precise and creative movements. The Flip is equipped with a sensor above the camera to detect obstacles in front of the aircraft, offering some basic protection. However, the system is not omnidirectional, like in DJI's more expensive models, therefore some care is needed when planning your moves. The fixed propeller guards are an additional safety feature, useful while filming at low altitude close to a target. They also protect nearby people in case of collisions. The sensor size of the Mini 4K is 1/2.3 inches, very small by today's standards, with a fixed aperture of f2.8 and a max bitrate of 100 Mbps. The frame rate available are up to 30 frames per second at 4K and 60 frames per second at 2.7K. Therefore, slow motion is not available at the higher resolution. A single color profile is available, the 8-bit normal mode, which can be used right out of the camera without editing, although a touch of extra contrast and saturation is beneficial. The Flip has a bigger 1/1.3 inches sensor with a wide aperture of f1.7 and a video bitrate of 150 Mbps. It can shoot 4K video at a maximum frame rate of 100 frames per second for extreme slow motion. Another major advantage, especially for scenes containing action. Besides normal, the Flip has a second profile, the 10-bit D-Log-M. This flat profile performs very well in high dynamic range situations and can withstand heavy post-processing, making it an ideal choice for integrating the footage into the color scheme of a specific project. The Mini 4K should not be considered a toy despite its small sensor and edge technology. The image processor was a major improvement over the previous Mini model and can produce decent footage in friendly light conditions. Let's see some face-to-face footage of the two models shot in daylight with the sign behind the aircraft in moderate dynamic range situation. The Mini 4K has a decent amount of detail in the buildings and the vegetation. The colors are pleasing and the noise is almost absent. Considering the very affordable price, in easy light conditions, it produces footage that can be used on social media and shared with friends. But even in these easy conditions, it cannot compete with the Flip. With a more expensive model there is more detail, especially in faraway elements, the colors are richer, the structure of the sky is much more engaging, with better contrast. In more challenging light conditions, the tiny sensor of the Mini 4K shows its age and seriously struggles. When the sun is just outside the frame, there is a noticeable drop in detail and contrast near the edge. Footage taken in the sun's direction is the stress test for sensor, processor and lens quality. Once the sun enters the frame, the dynamic range becomes overwhelming, making it impossible to balance exposure between highlight and shadows. The region around the sun is affected by flaring, detail loss, and chromatic aberration. Shooting anywhere in the direction of the sun should be avoided with this model. The Flip handles the situation much better, especially when using D-Log-M color profile. If the conditions are not too extreme, it is possible to render both the shadows and the highlights properly, although footage taken in the sun's direction requires some experience. The improvement in DJI models in low-light footage has been massive in the last few years, and sadly, a dated entry model like the Mini 4K falls apart as the small sensor with a narrow aperture is unable to collect enough light. Very high ISO values are needed to get some information in the shadows. This translates into loss of detail and excessive noise. Shooting after sunset should be avoided, and this is a major limitation of this model. Under the same conditions, the Flip yields astonishing results, in part due to the wide aperture of the lens. The quality of the footage is so good that it is often hard to believe it was taken in very dark conditions. The Mini 4K has had a very long career, including the years under the name Mini 2. Given the current state of drone technology, this model is ready for a well-deserved retirement. For users who want to start with drone videography, I suggest opting for the Flip if they can afford the price difference. Maybe DJI could replace the Mini 4K with a cheaper version of the Flip, taking away a few functionalities. Click on this link to watch my video about the Flip for photography, and don't forget to hit the like button if you found this video interesting. Thank you.